Hi, everyone. Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. It is Monday, and that means we get to hang out with our good friend Josh Planos from the Better Business Bureau. Josh, I assume you were like me and you are still full from Thanksgiving last week and moving slowly into the new work week. Doesn't help. It's really cold out this morning.
I am. It is a sluggish Monday. Not sure how much of it is the weather, how much of it is the what tryptophan? Is that what they're calling it these days? But yes, I am uh, devastatingly slow today. So hopefully this will be the pick me up I need.
Well, and today is one of the big days that I know kind of your probably whole quarter revolves around. There's obviously Black Friday, there's Small Business Saturday, and now we're here to Cyber Monday. We still have about call it 10 hours left of Cyber Monday. Ton of great deals that folks are going to take advantage of, but this is also probably one of the biggest days of the year for scammers.
Yeah, things used to be sacred, Bill. We used to have just 24 hours dedicated to Cyber Monday, and now that's like a month-long endeavor.
It
So,
is.
but not to belabor the point, but yes, holiday shopping deals are here. They will be in abundance, not just for the next 10 hours, but for the next 2 months. And some of those deals are fantastic. Some of those deals you cannot find at any other time during the year, but some of those deals are not real. And so that is really our concern and our purview is looking out for those who are looking at ads on their social media timeline and thinking that those have been somehow approved by the legal attachment of Instagram, or people who are going to websites that they have never heard of before and thinking that they all have the same return policy, or people who are being asked for payment with things like cryptocurrency or peer-to-peer payment methods, which come with very little protections. So there are some best practices that will help you avoid the vast majority of what is reported to us, not just on Cyber Monday, but on every Monday. And those are the things that we are excited to talk about today.
And probably one of the biggest things. I mean, there's a whole number of tips, best practices, but and you'd let me know if you agree. But from our conversations that we've done over the past year, probably one of the biggest things is just to slow down a little bit, and take your time.
Absolutely. There are so many things that we rush into because we feel like there's some sort of proverbial clock ticking. And in some cases, the marketing efforts behind those opportunities are trying to speed us up, right? You've secured these tickets only for the next 10 minutes, or this deal is only good for the next hour and a half, or only good until midnight. We make decisions when we are sped up that we otherwise wouldn't, right? And I think a lot of the best practices seem to revolve around giving yourself a breath, giving yourself the necessary time to do your due diligence, to research the company or the product, to get a sense of what the market rate is, to price check, to double check, to not do something with a knee jerk reaction over the phone. These are things that really lead to scam tracker reports, frankly. And much as we, appreciate those reports and we encourage folks to bring that information forward when it is necessary, the better option, right, is to avoid that situation entirely, which many of us can do by stopping, taking a breath, and double checking information before we agree to terms and conditions.
And there's a ton of great resources out there. Obviously, again, Better Business Bureau is one of those if you're looking up a company or something like that, or just checking out the scam tracker, see if someone's seen something similar. But even outside of BBB, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Josh, and maybe I'm going down a road that you wouldn't encourage people, but I think it's the Camel website where you can check and see, if an item is actually at its lowest price that it's been. You can get some price history on some of those things. So there's tons of resources out there for folks to use.
Yeah, and we would never tell people that the conversation should start and stop with the BBB, right? We are a link in the system, right? We talk about stacking the layers of security on transactions. One of those layers is a Better Business Bureau search, right? To get a better sense of what that company stands for, whether it has a proven track record, which with logistical hurdles being what they are over the holiday months, you really want to know before you purchase something, particularly if it's time sensitive. You have no way of knowing if that company can carry out the order that you are placing. if that company originated, within the last 24 hours, right? And to kind of go back to the knee jerk reaction to things, when you get a text message saying that a package is on its way to your front door, the instant reaction many of us have is, well, I want to know exactly where it is. Is it, 3 blocks away, 2 blocks away? Hopefully the first question you ask yourself is, am I expecting a package today? If not, then there's really no reason to click into that. And in
Mm-hmm.
fact, I would recommend not clicking into that just on principle, because typically that information is available online if you are to pull up your laptop or your desktop to track that order specifically. And really, you have no way of knowing if that information has been compromised or is being weaponized by a scammer to get you to click and go somewhere you don't want to go.
And I think we've talked about before, Josh, but it's a great idea to, maybe have a spreadsheet of the things that you did buy with expected arrival dates. So that way, because, it can be, I have 3 or 4 outstanding orders from Amazon, Walmart, Target, and I'm not sure when it's all coming. And so this text message, maybe it is legitimate. I click on it and then the floodgates have opened.
Just like budgeting, Bill, the best system is a system, right? If it's a scratch piece of paper and you are writing down, I'm expecting this from this retailer, tentative ship date is that is a system. And if it works for you, then no need to involve a spreadsheet. No need to divvy from that approach. However, many of us don't have any system at all and are just willing to click into all of the communication that we receive. And in a digital world that is inundated with scammers, inundated with spam, that is a really problematic approach, right? So we would encourage you to at least have a general sense of when things are coming to your front door. The most secure thing you can do is require a signature, right? So that way something is not left on your front doorstep. And if you're out of town, you don't know, if somebody's going to swoop in and pick that right up and leave with it. That way, that there is an interaction that must take place for that product to be handed off. Or, there are all of those drop and go opportunities, but importantly, just have a general sense of what is coming to your door and when.
And Josh, I think we always talk about one of the tips we always talk about, whether it's Cyber Monday, buying concert tickets or whatever, and that's always use your credit card. It does have just a little bit more protection on it than just your regular bank card or debit card.
One of these days, Bill, you and I are going to get some sort of kickback for shilling for plastic and for credit cards. It might not be today, but it is always best practice to make those online purchases with credit cards. If those shady charges appear later, if that company goes out of business, if that product is never delivered, you can contest those directly through your credit card companies. Debit cards usually don't offer that level of protection. Peer-to-peer payment methods usually don't offer that protection. Cryptocurrency absolutely does not offer that level of protection. So prepaid debit cards, wiring money, non-traditional payment methods, those are really things to really not deal with when you have a high dollar amount, or really any dollar amount. But particularly when it's a sensitive product that you really, have designs of putting under your tree, it's time sensitive. You want to make sure that you are stacking those layers of security best you can, and credit cards do a fantastic job of that.
Yeah, something that, again, obviously you have the credit limit on the credit card, but it's something that's not directly tied to your bank account necessarily. Give you that, and again, if again, sometimes it takes a lot of time and effort, but if you're smart about it, you can get points. The Amazon credit card, I think you get 7% rebate on future purchases and things like that. So there's a way to do that and to make it kind of work for you. You get points, get rewards, and then you just you pay it off right away as soon as you make that purchase. So you're not stacking any credit card debt or anything like that. And one of the important things too here, Josh, is we had obviously Cyber Monday, Christmas just a few weeks away. Understanding those return policies as well, because sometimes you buy something, it doesn't fit, it's a duplicate, whatever, and all of a sudden you can't return it.
And when you're working with a company that you've never transacted with before, there's a chance they have a return policy that at bare minimum you know very little about, right? And some of these deals are only available on Cyber Monday, right? So the reason why you're seeing that cut rate discount, the reason why it's 75% off is because that sale is final, right? There's no time for returns if you get the wrong size. There's no time for returns if you just don't need that product anymore, or if it's counterfeit, right? A lot of online store policies look very, very similar. But some of them have a lot of important information that you should know before you begin to transact with them, particularly if it's a non traditional or a less familiar retailer, right? That fine print, there's a lot of information in there. And when you are working for the very first time with a company that has a limited track record, particularly around the holidays, you want to know exactly what you are signing up for before you sign up for it, because uh, the tie, there's a saying in baseball that the tie goes to the runner. Well, the tie in retail goes to those with the best documentation, and it's really important to know what that documentation is before you've agreed to partake in it.
I like that. The tie goes to those with the best documentation. And Josh, a lot of this may seem really simple, straightforward, whatever. But every year, you guys are putting out studies and reports where it's billions of dollars that people are getting scammed out of. And it may seem really simple, these steps that we're talking about, but it still happens to people, unfortunately, in pretty large numbers. And those are the numbers that we just have reported. There's even more that goes unreported.
Scam prevention is drinking from a fire hose, and it only takes a very small percentage of people to fall for a scam for that scam to be devastatingly lucrative and effective for scammers. That's why they cast such a wide net. That's why they scale it so it reaches thousands of people in a matter of seconds. The worst thing you can do, though, is accept that this is a reality that's just part of being a consumer in 2024. I better not report it. That does the exact opposite of protecting people on your street, family members, people you don't know anything about, right? The reason why we recommend working through Scam Tracker is because that information is public. So what is reported to us is made very much available to everyone else. So say, for instance, you get an email address from a company and they've got a very specific email address, right? As part of your report, we will ask for what that email address was. And in the chance that someone else is experiencing that and they look up that information online, they will see that there is a link to somebody who reported a scam involving that person or that entity. That's information that is, it's just a bullet point for many, but that is a useful piece of information for those who are about to make a split second decision that could change their life, right? So that information takes all of 2.5 minutes to collect. bbb.org/scam tracker is where we collect it. You can be kept anonymous. So there's no camera crew that's coming to your door the minute you report an experience, but there is something actionable that is being done with that information to protect the community, because the reality is none of us are receiving one-off communications from scammers. Okay, this information is scaled, it is efficient, it is refined, and it really takes all of us to keep the community protected.
Yep. Again, multi-billion-dollar business for these scammers who are trying to get folks hard-earned money. So, Josh, again, there's a number of other tips, best practices. Are there any big ones that we kind of left out that you want to make sure we get mentioned here on the Cyber Monday?
For business owners and consumers, this is invoice season. A lot of people are in budgeting mode. A lot of people are trying to, put a bow on the year end calendar, right? A lot of people are trying to pay the necessary invoices to keep the lights on. Not all of those invoices are real to begin with. So really important. We've seen this for both consumers and business owners. People getting an invoice from Apple because they know folks are using their mobile app more now than at any other time during the year. It's a really good time to at least get up to speed on what your billing system looks like, what invoices you are expecting, which ones you aren't, because many of the ones that are fraudulent look very, very real. So I would caution against. Again, it takes a single click to sign a document these days, but make sure that document is worth signing before you do click.
100%. Always good advice, Josh. I hope you start moving a little bit faster as the day wears on, as hopefully it warms up a little bit, so We're not as full of turkey and stuffing and ham. And I brought Texas Roadhouse rolls to my Thanksgiving, so.
Well, that may be why you're moving sluggish this morning.
And the 3 tubs of cinnamon butter, too, so.
At least you ate well.
That's
fantastic.
We did. Very much so. Liam and Jamie were still having leftover Texas Roadhouse rolls yesterday. That was just like all they wanted for dinner was Texas Roadhouse rolls, which I can't really blame them for.
I can't either. I wish that's what I had for dinner.
Well, Josh, we appreciate your time as always. I hope your shopping is wonderful and carefree on this Cyber Monday.
Same to you, Bill. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Again, that is Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau. We always appreciate his time. Again, tips and best practices helping keep your money safe in your wallet. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching another edition of Consumer Safety Spotlight. Again, we'll talk with Josh again next Monday. Different topic, again, as we get closer to the Christmas holiday. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. As always, keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of your latest news, weather, and sports. Until next time, hope everyone has a nice Monday.
1011 News is everywhere. Download our smart TV.